Hello, my name is Jerry Cleva. I've been with Portal for 5+ years and I'm currently the senior course developer. I'd like to thank you for your time and I hope that you find this presentation beneficial. This is Module 5, Portal Pricing and Rating of the web-based Portal 7 Technical Essentials class. Let's take a look at the objectives for this module. We'll start out by identifying the different components that make up the Portal pricing model. I'll then introduce some of the key pricing terminology that will enable you to better understand this lesson and Portal as a whole. And then we'll look at a basic price plan in the slides and then use Pricing Center to do the same. In the previous lesson, we created a customer account in the database by selecting a plan and completing the customer's billing information. Now, we'll look more closely at price plans and how they ultimately enable Portal to apply charges to a customer account. In this slide, we review the business cycle, concentrating more closely on the registration process. In this scenario, the customer calls in and speaks to a CSR regarding potential plans. The CSR can inquire as to the customer's requirements and then suggest potential plans. Once the plan is purchased and the account created, the customer can use any services that are part of the plan. The rating engine rates the events and the database is updated. Let's look at the list of plans presented in Customer Center. Early in the account creation process, a list of available plans is presented to the customer. Whether it's a CSR explaining what's available, or the customer is actually self-registering using a web browser. In an actual implementation, the plan names may be more customer-friendly and the details of the plan spelled out. These days, most of us regularly visit the website of our wireless provider to view available plans and purchase various types of services. In this example, the free seconds with discount and email plan has been chosen and we can see that the plan details in the lower part of the screen. Here you can see the associated services, deals, products, and discounts. In this case, the plan has 2 different services associated with it, and we can also see that there are 2 different deals. In the previous demonstration, we purchased the family plan, which contained only 1 service, which was IP, 1 deal, 2 products, and 1 discount. Take a few seconds to look at the relationship between the services and deals. The point I want you to take away here is that deals are typically associated with 1 service. So here we see the email service with an email deal and the IP service with the MCF with free seconds IP deal. This particular deal contains a product and a discount. Let's take a look at the overall pricing model hierarchy. The Portal pricing model hierarchy consists of several components. I'll discuss each of these and the relationship to each other, and then in the coming slides I'll explain each component in greater detail. I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. Discounts are used to reduce the charges associated with billable events and to grant or consume non-monetary resources. They can be created to discount usage charges, purchase fees, and recurring fees. You can discount events rated in real time and by pipeline batch rating. The Portal product defines a set of events and the balance impacts that are applied when those events occur. Deals are comprised of products and discounts. These same products and discounts can be included in multiple deals. In addition to the discount objects that are added to the deals, additional percentage-based discounts can be applied to either the purchase, cycle, or usage fees at the deal level. Plans contain 1 or more deals and are used to offer your services to customers. It's what the customer is actually buying. Plans are used to apply credit limits to resources, which ultimately control how much of a resource a customer can consume. Once you've created a plan and wish to make it available to the customer, you add it to a plan list, which can contain any number of plans. There are plan lists for new customers and existing customers, and these can be further broken down into groups. Let's take a closer look at plan lists. Looking at this diagram, we see that there are two plan lists displayed. The Canadian plan list has been created for customers living in Canada and contains three plans: the Basic Blue Plan, the Canadian Wireless Plan, and the Basic Internet Plan. The U.S. plan list is for customers living in the U.S. and also contains three plans: the Basic Blue Plan, the U.S. Wireless Plan, and the Basic Internet Plan. The interesting thing to note here is that both plan lists share some of the same plans. Let's take a look at the attributes of a plan list. Two slides ago, I mentioned that there are plan lists for new and existing customers. The type attribute allows you to define if a plan list is a new or add-on plan list. New customers will only be presented with plans that are in the CSR New plan list, and existing customers will only be presented with plans in the CSR Add-on plan list. It is perfectly fine to place the exact same plans in each plan list. You can easily customize Portal to contain any number of plan lists. As mentioned earlier, a plan is actually what the customer is purchasing during registration and is comprised of one or more deals. The plan is where multiple services can be packaged together to offer your customers. In this diagram, we're looking at a single plan, the Basic Blue Plan, which contains two deals: the Blue Moon Wireless deal and the Basic Wi-Fi deal. Let's take a closer look at the two deals. Okay, so we already know that a deal groups one or more products and discounts. Let's start with the Blue Moon Wireless deal. First, we note that the service is telephony. Second, we see that it contains the basic wireless product. And third, we see that the deal also contains the Consume Free Anytime Minutes discount. An interesting thing to point out here is that the deal is also giving a 90% discount on the sign-up fee. Now let's look at the Basic Wi-Fi first month free deal. First, we note that the service is Internet. Second, it contains the Wi-Fi product. Third, we see that the deal also contains the Earn Frequent Flyer Miles for over 100 minutes Connect Time discount. Like the other deal, this deal is also offering an additional deal level discount off the first month of the service for free. These features will be explained and demonstrated when we do the Pricing Center demonstration. Let's take a closer look at the two products we've been talking about. But first, let's try to understand a little bit more of how products are constructed. Rates in a product are organized in a hierarchical structure. This structure allows you to create multiple components at each level. For example, you can rate multiple events in a single product and create multiple rates for each event. Looking at the first product, note the $60 setup fee. This rate would be associated with a purchase event. The $50 monthly fee for 500 anytime minutes would be associated with a monthly cycle forward event. The usage fees would be yet another event. This product contains both setup and monthly fees, but it should be noted that each of these events could have its own product. In the second product, the $20 a month fee for 10 hours of usage would be configured in a monthly cycle forward event. The usage fees would be configured in a usage event. Let's look at how products and discounts work together. Okay, let's stop here for a very short quiz which should appear momentarily. Discounts are a separate purchasable item similar to products that customers can purchase. They can be bundled with products and deals or just added to a deal and sold standalone. The discount object determines which events are mapped to the discount models. A discount model is a set of pricing model components that determine which events are discounted, the amount of the discount, and the conditions under which the discount applies. Once events have been rated, any discounts are considered and processed, changing the net amount of the balance impact. These discounts are processed in the pipeline regardless of whether it's real-time or delayed event. We've talked about events, rates, and rate plans over the past few slides, but I would like to still give you a little bit more info in these areas. Some of this information has been previously mentioned, but is being repeated as it's important that you understand basic portal terminology. Examples of events would be placing an IP phone call, downloading a ringtone, changing a password, sending an SMS, or possibly creating an account. Events are configured in Portal and then recognized and recorded in the database and can be billable or non-billable. Rate plans contain a set of rates for an event, and depending on that event can pertain either real-time rate plans or pipeline rate plans. Numerous attributes can be used to determine the rates. For example, with a wireless call, we could consider attributes such as where the call originated, the destination of the call, networks used, day of the week and time of day, to name a few. A rate is a pricing object that defines the cost of a specific billable event under a specific set of circumstances. Examples of rates would be $9.95 a month, $29.95 purchase fee, or $2.99 an hour. Resources are tracked in Portal and can be either currency or non-currency in value. And lastly, rating is performed on events and determines how much your customers will be charged for the use of your services. Let's take a look at the rating process. We'll use this simple view to describe the rating process. When an event comes in for rating, it carries with it basic information which is used to find the appropriate rate plan in the Portal database. In this example, the rate plan has been located and it calls for a 10 cents a minute charge with a 20% discount. The information for a 5-minute call is passed to the rating opcodes and results in a 50-cent charge. The call is then discounted by the discounting pipeline, and the balance impact of 40 cents is updated in the customer's account in the database. Creating a Portal price plan is generally done in steps. The company's marketing department typically develops a model of their offerings. This becomes the company's price plan, which must then be translated into the Portal pricing model. It's very likely that the newly translated pricing model will require the creation of non-currency resources, such as free widgets, in the database. Other development tasks, such as creating new services and events, may also be required. Once the entire plan has been translated and any developer tasks have been performed, it's time to build the price plan using Portal Pricing Center. Okay, let's get more specific with what you'll need to think about when analyzing your company's price plan. There are various considerations to be made when analyzing your price plan. Will you need to create custom services or usage events? How will events be measured, and in what units of measurement? What resources will be impacted, and how will you package your new offerings? These are a few of the decisions that will need to be made along the way as you begin your Portal implementation. Let's look at a couple of examples of translating a price plan. This first example is very basic. The service provider is setting up charges as follows: $50 per month and a $60 setup fee. For the monthly access fee, this translates to an event type of monthly cycle forward and will be measured by occurrence, with a resource of US dollars in the amount of $50 per occurrence. The setup fee translates to an event type of product purchase fee, which will also be measured by occurrence in the resource of US dollars in the amount of $60. Now let's look at a slightly more complex example. Here's a more interesting example. We see that in this case, the service provider is charging for services as follows. $19.95 per month, which includes 100 megabytes free per month. After the first 100 megabytes have been used up, the rate plan will charge 10 cents per megabyte. Let's look at the components. We'll start with the monthly access, which has an event type of monthly cycle forward and is measured by occurrence. The new twist here is that the event now has two balance impacts. The first is charging the $19.95 monthly fee, and the second is a credit of 100 megabytes. Now once the customer has used up these 100 megabytes, we begin charging them, so let's look at the usage product, which has an event type of megabyte usage and is measured by size, which in this case is megabytes at a rate of 10 cents a megabyte. There's one last thing. We need a mechanism to ensure that the customer isn't charged for the first 100 megabytes used and that they are deducted from the customer's resource balance as they're consumed. For this, we've created a discount with the following attributes. But before I go into that, let me explain the rating process of megabyte usage. As the customer uses the included megabytes, they will be charged at whatever the going rate is. Discounting will then discount that amount to zero out the charge. This will happen until the customer has used all 100 megabytes, at which time charges will no longer be discounted. There is more involved here than meets the eye, but basically a discount model has been created that will credit 100% of the charges for free megabytes available and also deduct the megabytes from the customer's account as they're consumed. If you wish to learn more about discounting, you should attend the Portal Pricing and Rating class and the Advanced Pricing and Rating class. Now let's build a price plan using the Portal Pricing hierarchy. Here we see a basic price plan with two products and one discount in a single deal that has been added to a single plan. The first thing I'd like to note is that the two products, the discount, and the deal are all of the same service type, which is GSM telephony service. Another important feature is the flexibility and reuse of the pricing components. While these products and deal currently comprise the bronze plan, they can also be used in other configurations. The telephony basic product has a setup fee of $60, a $50 monthly fee, which includes 800 free minutes, and usage charges. The free minutes discount works just like the discount that was explained on the previous slide. The telephony add-on product charges $7.95 a month for caller ID and voicemail. This product can be combined with other telephony products to make different deals. These three objects make up the deal, basic GSM with two options, which has been added to the bronze plan. The bronze plan is then added to the plan list. Now we're looking at a slightly more complex plan to which we've added another deal. The deal, Basic SMS, contains the SMS basic product that charges $10 a month for usage charges. Both the deal and the product are associated with the GSM SMS service. The bronze plan now contains two deals with two different services to offer your customers. Okay, let's stop here for a very short quiz which should appear momentarily. Throughout this lesson, we've discussed many of Pricing Center's capabilities. One area that was briefly touched on is the reuse of deals, plans, products, discounts, and rate plans. The flexibility and ease at which components can be reused in Pricing Center makes creating new price plans by modifying existing objects a quick and simple process. The pricing model can be easily updated without stopping the portal system by simply committing any updates to the database. Price lists can be imported and exported in XML or IPL format. Portal stores price list in FList format. Experienced developers using XML interface a command line utility can easily modify price list without performing numerous steps using the Pricing Center GUI. Saving price lists in IPL format allows the pricing developer to save the pricing objects in both the workspace and snapshot panes locally in binary format. This allows the developer to save work in progress without committing to the database. The IPL can then be reopened and then committed to the database when desired. Throughout this module, we've discussed the pricing module components and terminology. Now, let's open Pricing Center and actually explore the various pricing objects. Okay, we're looking at the Pricing Center application login screen, and as you can see from the previous demonstration, this is very similar to the Customer Center application login screen. We've already filled in the login name and the password, which is exactly as it was in the Customer Center login, and then once again the host and the port name are the same. When we're ready to connect to Pricing Center, we simply click OK to do the connection, and so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and now the Pricing Center application has opened up. Pricing Center is part of a suite of applications launched from the same interface. Pricing Center is the only application that actually opens by default, as you can see here. The other three applications that are part of the suite are Provisioning Tags, which we use for GSM products, Resource Editor, which we use to configure resources for price lists, and then Zone Mapper to define zone maps and zones. And I will go ahead and click the down arrow here to see the launcher for those applications. Let's close that. The purpose of this specific demo is just to familiarize you with the pricing objects, so I will not actually cover every feature in this application, as those are actually covered in a 5-day class that we offer, but I will give you enough information to get you started so that you understand the basics of Pricing Center and the different pricing hierarchy objects that we have. So to create a new price list, we would select a File and then New, and what this does, and it may take a second, is it is opening up the snapshot or a snapshot of the database, so that we can see now that a snapshot of the database has appeared, and a snapshot is exactly that. It's loaded an instance of the objects in the database, and then it does a disconnection of the database. So we're not actually writing to the database whenever we work on these objects or view these objects. It is possible to, at a later date, go ahead and write the information to the database, and I'll explain that to you at that time. So here on the left-hand side, under the database snapshot, you can actually see the components that comprise the portal pricing model hierarchy. We'll start from the top with plan list and work our way down. So looking at the plan list, I'm going to go ahead and expand the list. And you can see within the plan list, we have 3 plan lists in here. We have the CSR New, which we discussed. We have Default Add-on, and then we have Default New. Let's go ahead and expand the CSR New. So within CSR New, you can see a list of the plans that are actually in this plan list and are available to customers for purchase. You remember in the previous lesson I stated that in order for a plan to be available for purchase, it had to be added to a plan list. CSR New is a list of plans that are available to new customers. I'll go ahead and close this up, and then we'll expand the default add-on. The default add-on currently contains 3 plans, or excuse me, 2 plans, the Family Add-on Only plan and Plan 3 Unlimited Web Access. These 2 plans would not be available to new customers signing up. However, once the customer account has been created, we can go into the purchase tab and purchase one of these additional plans. Let's close that up, and we'll go ahead and close the plan list and look at plans. So here we see a list of all plans that are currently in this database, and we will actually view the family plan a little bit later on, and all of the objects that are associated with the family plan. Let's close the plans and look at the deals. Here we see a list of all deals that are currently in the database. We also see in here the family deal and the family deal add-on only. We will view the family deal as part of the demonstration. From there we move to products. You see a list of products that are currently created and in the database. And we can see down below we've got family usage and family monthly, which we'll be viewing. From there we'll go to discounts. In this particular build we've got 3 discounts created: the family free seconds discount, the monthly cycle forward 10% discount, and then lastly the usage 10% discount. And we'll be looking at the family free seconds discount momentarily. So what I'll do is come back up to the top, and we will once again expand the plan list. And I want to drag and drop the CSR new plan list over to the workspace. So we're in the database snapshot right now. As I said before, this is just a snapshot of what of the objects that are in the database. To work on them, we actually need to drag them over to what we call the workspace. So I will go ahead and drag and drop CSR new over, and we can see that it has now appeared in the workspace. If I expand that, I see once again the list of plans that are in here, and I want to drag over the family plan. So what I'll do is go ahead and close that up, close the plan list, expand the plans, find the family plan, and drag and drop it over. We can see that it now appears in the workspace. If I expand from the workspace the family plan, we see that within there we have the family deal, which is associated with service IP. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and locate the family deal over in the snapshot and drag it over. So let's expand the deals, locate family deal, and drag and drop. So if we expand once again the family deal in the workspace, we see that this particular deal contains the family free seconds discount and then 2 products, the family monthly and the family usage. So I want to go ahead and drag and drop all 3 of those objects over. So let's expand the products first. And we said we needed family monthly. We've got that, and now let's grab family usage and bring that over. We'll close up the products, expand the discounts, and drag and drop the family free seconds discount into the workspace. So now at this time we have all the objects associated with the family plan in the workspace. So as I said before, in the previous exercise we actually purchased the family plan, so I thought that this would be a good plan to explore the different objects, and it would give you an idea of what you saw before from the customer standpoint using customer service or customer center to view the account. Now you would get to see all the pricing objects from the pricing center side. Before we actually get into the plan, I want to show you a little bit, and we'll start with the CSR new plan list, and I can double click to open the actual plan list attributes, and we discussed the attributes in the previous lesson. Anyway, if you look at this, you can see that this is a type new for CSR new, and we look at the selected plans. This is a list of plans that are currently in the CSR new plan list, and then available plans. Any plan that is in the database that hasn't been added to the CSR new plan list is still available. So we see the family plan add-on only. We don't want this plan to be available to new customers, so we leave it over there. I will close this, and now we will go ahead and look at the family plan. So I'll double click the family plan to open up the object, and it opened momentarily, and here we go. We have the plan attributes at this time. So what I'll do is just discuss a couple of things here. We see the name obviously, and further down under the deal or service level we see that the services to add to the account, we see we have service IP and we have the family deal in here. If we wanted to look at the credit limits, we would come in and I will actually show you a couple of things that we talked about in the previous lesson. So once, again, it defaults to the account balance group. This, if you remember from the previous exercise or demonstration, this plan had two balance groups. It had an account level balance group and then a service level balance group, which is right here. So going back to the account level balance group, we see a credit limit for US dollars of $50. So we see that down here. If we come into the service level balance group of IP, we see a credit limit of $500. So if you remember back to that particular demonstration, we started out with a credit limit for all balance groups of $550, and then later on we modified that to make it an even $1,000 for the credit limit. So let's go ahead, and I will not go through all the other tabs here. As I said before, this could take a long time. Let's go ahead and open up the family deal, which was part of the family plan. And the family deal opens up, the deal attributes box. So looking here once again from the top, we see the family deal in the name. Below that we see applies to service IP, so this has been assigned to that service. Further down we see that the deal validity period starts immediately and never ends. And then in the products and discounts associated with this deal, we see the two products, the family monthly and the family usage, and then finally the discount, family free seconds discount. I mentioned previously in I believe the previous lesson that we could also offer different types of discounts at the deal level. So say for instance we wanted to offer some type of a specific discount at the family on the family monthly product, we would highlight it and click modify, and this could also be done when you're actually creating the deal. And here we are able to offer an additional percentage-based discount on the purchase, the cycle, or the usage fees, whichever is appropriate for the specific product. And then you can also choose how you want to make this effective. So say we wanted to give them an additional 10%, and we would make it effective immediately and end in one cycle. So we would be giving them a 10% discount on their monthly charges for one cycle. And then at the end of that cycle it picks back up and does the normal charging. I don't want to do that right now because it would change kind of the outcome of some of the other exercises or demonstrations I have planned for this particular course. So we'll leave it at that, and once again I'll make this 0 and we'll just cancel it out. But you can see how simple it is to actually go in and modify some of the attributes of the deal and the product so far. So we'll close the deal attributes. Now let's look at the family monthly product. We'll start with that one. And if we open up the product attributes box, we see here that obviously the family monthly name and the priority of 0. I will not go into that right now, but we can assign priorities to different products and deals. We look below, we see the product type of subscription, and it applies to service IP. In the event map, remember we said that we could have several events and then several rate plans attached to the events. But in this particular product, or in this particular case, we have monthly cycle forward event. The measured by occurrence, remember we talked about that before, and it's a single rate plan. So we can actually go in and view the rate plan and modify it if we wish to at this point. But for now, we'll just go ahead and open the rate plan to view it. So I stated before that the rate structure was hierarchical in nature. We see here the monthly cycle forward event has one tier. There could be multiple tiers in here, and then there could be rates for each tier. So you see the how complex it could become if we chose to. There's tax information in here, and then also in advance billing and when to apply cycle fees. So let's look at Tier 1. Tier 1 simply allows us to assign effective dates, absolute and relative. And then also over to the right you see whether we have day restrictions and time restrictions on this. And this is a very popular tool when you're talking about phone calls and stuff like that for peak and off-peak times. We move on to the rate. The rate level is where we can assign proration information for the purchase information and the cancel information. And then the last level down would be the balance impacts. And this particular event has two balance impacts associated with it. If we look down at the bottom, we see the first one is US dollars, and the amount is scaled at $5. And then the second balance impact is free seconds, and we see that we've given them a credit of 18,000 free seconds. So thinking back to the previous demonstration, when the customer, if you remember, had a $5 bill in progress and they had 18,000 seconds to start out with, this is where those actually came from. Let's go ahead and close this. And we will open the family usage product. Okay, the family usage, once again, you see the name up there. You see the product type is subscription, and it also applies to service IP. Under the event map, we see one event, we see a session event, and the measurement is by duration. If we open the rate plan, we will just move on down right to the balance impacts. And we see that the balance impact is US dollars, and the amount is scaled at $5 per hour. You see the units are defined there. So what this product is doing is actually will start charging the customer for their usage once they start generating usage. If you remember before, I said that even if you have a discount, when calls are generated, the calls are actually rated and charged at the appropriate rate, which in this case is $5 an hour. And then if they have any type of a discount out there that's still active, they're discounted that, and then you have a net charge of 0 as long as they've got that discount out there. So once they've used up the 18,000 seconds or the 3 hours, then they would start using up their $5 an hour is how they would be charged. Let's close this and we'll go look at the discount. So there's a lot more to the discount than meets the eye right here. This is basically mostly a mapping system, but what we see here is the family free seconds discount, and we see that it's also subscription for service IP. If we look down at the mapping event to a discount model, as I stated before, it's simply a mapping system. We see a session event, and we see the discount model DMFM all, which stands for, it's just an abbreviation that we used, as discount model family minutes all. So from here, if we chose to, we could open this discount model, we can change it, and then we can also view the tools that were used to create all the discount model information that makes up this particular discount object. That's a whole other lesson, or a two-day class that we offer through our pricing classes. So I'll go ahead and close this. So we've just looked at the entire pricing model hierarchy for the family plan. If we, as I said before, had made any kind of changes to this, we would have to update the database. So say for instance I had gone ahead and changed that discount in the deal on the family monthly product to offer a 10% discount for one cycle, we would need to update the database or that would not take effect. So to update the database, we simply come over to File and then Commit to Portal Database. It asked us if we're sure we want to commit this to the database, and then it gives us an option. It says we're connected to 156.151.33.150, and if we want to continue. And at this point we can say yes, okay, or we can say no, let's
commit it to a different database. So the system is very flexible. We could commit this to one of our other servers. So maybe you have a development server that you're working on and you want to test this out before you do this on the live server. You could do that from there. So we'll go ahead and say just commit this to this database, and it's very quick. It comes back and tells us that the commit is successful. Now, remember I said that before that we could actually update the database with pricing objects and never have to stop and start Portal. The way that we do that is by committing it to the database, and then we would do what's called updating the snapshot, which could be done through this refresh button here, or through File, and then Update Snapshot. It'll come up and ask us if we're sure we want to continue, and then once it updates the snapshot, we'll see that the objects are compressed if we had open objects over here, and if we had actually created a new pricing object, say a product, it would now appear in the database snapshot because we updated the snapshot. So let's look at some of the toolbars across the top and the menus. Starting from the left, we just looked in here momentarily, but you can see that we can launch our different applications within the pricing center. Then we create a new connection. And the other important thing to mention would be importing and exporting pricing center data and then saving. We can save this as an IPL, as I mentioned before, to save it locally rather than committing it to the database. And then once you've got it all tested out, you can commit it. And then the other area that I'd like to mention is the Insert menu, which is where we can insert new plan lists, plans, deals, products, discounts, and charge sharing objects. We also have some quick menu options up here. We can update the snapshot if we choose to from here, and then also the icons over here, we can create a new product, a new deal, a new plan, a new plan list, a discount, and a charge share object. So just to get you started, just to show you how simple it is, if we wanted to create a new product, it's very quick. It comes up, there's a wizard that drives you through this, and at this point we can create a new product, or we could simply use an existing product that already is in the database, and if we say we wanted to just simply modify the family monthly product, we could come through very quickly. We would change the name and say you wanted to call it family bi-monthly and change the rates. You save it. So most of the work has been done for you here. You're just using something that exists in the database already. So we'll cancel that. It's very similar for deals and plans and plan lists as well. That concludes this demonstration on the Pricing Center, and we will actually continue in further modules here with some of the stuff that we've talked about in this particular demonstration later on. Let's look back at what we've just covered. We learned that in Portal, a service such as internet access, telephony access, or email access is something offered to customers, and that discounts are objects in the database similar to products and map discount models to events. Discounts are packaged in deals. Products are the basic building blocks that specify the rates we charge for events. Products are also packaged in deals. Deals package products and discounts and are associated with a single service. Additional percentage-based discounts may be offered through deals. Plans are a package of one or more deals and are what the customer actually purchases using Portal. The credit limit is set in the plan. And a plan list is a group of one or more plans. Plans must be added to the plan list for a customer to be able to purchase them. And lastly, we reviewed all of these features using Portal Pricing Center.